everyone, in today's video I will be talking about the Toyota 2E engine. The Toyota 2E engine is the second generation engine in the E-Series Toyota engine family. This engine has a bore of 73mm and a stroke of 77.4mm, giving the engine 1,295 cc's of displacement, or 1.3 liters rounded up. Due to the bore and stroke dimensions being what they are, this gives the engine a stroke-to-bore ratio of 1.06. Since the engine has a larger stroke compared to its bore, this aids in cylinder filling at low RPMs, as the speed of the piston going up and down the bore is greater compared to an engine with similar displacement but has a bigger bore, in which the greater speed creates a vacuum within the cylinder, helping pull in air and fuel, aiding charging efficiency. Torque is quite good too at 98 Nm for an engine of its size. This is also due to the greater stroke dimensions compared to the bore. Compression ratio is quite good as well for the time, at 9.5 to 1. At this compression ratio, the 2E engine is capable of producing in factory form at 73 horsepower if it's equipped with a V-type carburetor, or 82 horsepower in fuel-injected form. As I have noted earlier, the engine had a 9.5 to 1 compression ratio, and this meant that the combustion efficiency was good enough to achieve great fuel economy at 23 kilometers per liter. Toyota didn't stop here, as they have also introduced a turbocharged variant of the 2E engine, designated the 2E TELU, and this was installed in the EP71 Starlet Turbo S. This version of the 2E engine produced 110 horsepower and 15.2 kilos of torque, but compared to its naturally aspirated counterpart, it has a lower compression ratio of 8.5 to 1. This was done to prevent the engine from suffering from knock, as the fuels back then weren't as good as they are today, and having a very high knock limit. Of course, I'm talking about regular pump fuel that you and I can get at a petrol station. You can easily get around this by using race gas, but not everyone has that kind of money to spend on fuel, plus it's not emission safe and legal anyways. So pump fuel is the way to go. The other reason Toyota decreased the compression ratio is to prolong the longevity of the engine, as a lower compression ratio will aid in reducing the combustion charge temperature in the cylinders, essentially reducing the amount of load and stress the engine experiences. This also reduces the load on the cooling system, as it has to reject less heat in order to maintain a safe coolant temperatures. Toyota achieved reducing the compression ratio by using dish-top pistons, and this enables the engine to not only have a reduced compression ratio figure, but increase the total volume in each cylinder due to the dish-top piston, compared to a dome-top piston that increases compression ratio but reduces the total cylinder volume. Hence, it's similar to increasing the displacement of the engine. While it may not be in the realm of the displacement increase you would get when increasing the bore or stroke, but it would still help in combating the turbo lag, which is a lot more prominent in the turbo technology of the time. Due to the small percentage of increased displacement, this also offsets the loss of low-end performance brought by the reduction of the compression ratio. With that said, as the compression ratio is decreased, fuel economy has suffered, as the engine's combustion efficiency is not as optimal as before. Well, it's a known sacrifice back in the day if you wanted to have a turbocharged engine that produces more power than in naturally aspirated form, but still retain reliability over a long period of, let's say, 200,000 kilometers before a major rebuild. As I said earlier, fuel economy has suffered due to the reduced compression ratio, and it has reduced by 26%. It's a very considerable amount, but Toyota's engineers had to make do what materials and technology that were available at the time to engineer it as well as they could. Moving on, TRD Japan had campaigned the 2E engine as well in the All Japan Rally Championships back in the day in the EP71 RI version of the Starlet, meaning that they opted to go with the tried and true naturally aspirated tuning due to the reliability concerns with the turbocharged variant in all-out competition. There was a road-going version of the RI spec EP71 Starlet that had fuel injection, but for competition, TRD discarded it and converted it into a dual carburetor setup, along with the usual high lift and duration camshafts, high compression pistons, and ported and polished cylinder head treatment. This engine was capable of revving to 10,000 RPMs reliably, and it produced 130 horsepower. Now moving on, if you guys have one of these engines in stock or somewhat modified form, as these engines are old and who knows who tinkered with it throughout its life, I would highly suggest giving it a refresh, or as some call it, an overhaul. Nothing fancy, just the basics, and replace only what needs to be replaced to cut down a little bit on cost. Now this will get you the peace of mind that the engine is running optimally and will also produce good power and torque, as well as fuel economy. This is what is important, especially if you drive your car daily, as a healthy engine will provide great reliability and fuel economy. But if you would want to improve upon this during the refresh, I would highly suggest getting a thinner head gasket like the TRD 0.5mm, and this will bump your compression ratio by 1.2, giving you a total compression ratio of 10.7 to 1. Now, with this compression ratio, you would expect the thermal efficiency and combustion efficiency to improve, giving you a nice bump in power and torque, as well as an improvement in fuel economy, which is what we all want, especially when using the car on a daily basis. Other modifications you may want to consider if your budget allows for it is a custom 4-to-2-into-1 header that is only slightly bigger than the size of the exhaust port, but at the Y pipe, make sure that the exit diameter is at least 2.25 inches, and this will give you a good balance of torque and power. And to not annoy your neighbors, I suggest to complete the exhaust system with a resonator and a chambered muffler would be the way to go, and this still gives great results without hampering performance too much. As for the airbox, keeping the original one is the way to go for a street car, be it carbureted version or the fuel injected version. As many people don't realize is that the original airbox that Toyota had engineered is already well made and offers little to no restriction, and would only pose a restriction when the engine is rebuilt into a racing engine. These recommendations are put by personal testing on what works best for street use. That concludes our video for today, and if you guys have any questions, do leave a comment down below and I will answer them to the best of my capabilities. And if you guys like the video, do give me a like, comment, and subscribe for more. Until next time, have a good one.